Listen, everybody, I have really no clue what I'm doing at this point. I have no idea um, what's going on, but I do know that we all have a higher power within us. Now, I've been on a journey since I'd say I was 19 years old. Now, I always knew that there was something bigger going on in the world. I always knew that there was meaning, or I needed to have meaning for what was going on in the world. But I knew that there was meaning behind the world. It wasn't this just arbitrary um, thingamajig that just formulated from muck and just came here. I knew that there was a designer, a force, a power behind all that we see, feel, and observe and experience. And I started out, meeting people, going to church, being involved with church, seeing legalistic righteousness, seeing people that were preaching certain things and they ended up being frauds. And I've always been after the truth. And over time, I've gone to church and I didn't go to church and was involved with different things and different experiences in my life. But I've always known deep inside that there were goals and missions and purposes that I've had. And when I've gone away from whatever those goals and missions and purposes are, I've always had like a sense of dread, a sense of just kind of drifting, going nowhere. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I've realized how powerful I am, how powerful I am as a human being, because what's inside of me is an actual infinite being. The God power, the God force, the infinite being, all of these things, I've come to the conclusion through meditation, through prayer, through time, through realizing the things I went through as a child and the family I chose to be involved with. And we all, I think at this point, I've come to the conclusion that we all have an idea of what we're getting into before we actually come to this planet, this realm, this plane, whatever you want to call it, this beautiful, abundant place. I'm out here looking out my balcony and looking at the abundance of the tree, the abundance of the leaves as they move around in the wind and the sun. And I know in certain times in my life, I've really just exuded lack. I've exuded scarcity. But the world that we live in is so abundant. We can do anything that we want. I can do anything that I want. If I don't want to do something, if I don't want to record anymore, I hit the button, I turn off the camera. If I want to go out and go for a drive, I go do it. I want to get on a plane and go to Japan, I go do it. I don't want to be with this person anymore. I don't like how this person's treating me, or I don't like the vibes I'm getting from this person. Sorry, man. I just don't like what's going on. Toodaloo. We live in an abundant world, and the power that we have within ourselves is telling us the missions and the goals and the purposes that we have. And I've realized the goals and the missions and the purposes that I have and what it is I need to do. So I guess what I'm saying is that I'm here to do that mission. I'm here to do and accomplish that goal. The goals that have been set out for me long before I was born, in my time here, and what I need to do, I've gotten to the point where I've realized what that is. And that is being true to myself, being creative. I am a creator. And me raising my energy in my creative skills and giving it to the world will be able to help so many people. And we all have to realize and figure out what our goal and what our mission is. For some people, they're trash men. For some people, they're bums on the street. For some people, they just put up with relationships where they get beaten down and put down, and they never get out of that rut. But I think the goal for each and every one of us is to find out who we are, go out there and do it, and don't second guess ourselves. Trust your instincts. Trust that intuition that you feel. Learn to trust that God force that's within you, because the God force that's within you can do anything. You have a kingdom within you, a power within you that can fill up the entire universe, everything that you see and that you can't see. You just have to tap into it. You have to tap into it through stillness. You have to tap into it through love, through introspection. You have to tap into it through all the different painful experiences that you endured, and you never turned the page, and it took you a long time to get out of it. Just like with my family, I grew up with an ice cold mother, verbally abusive throughout my entire adult life. You know, she's been so volatile and brutal to deal with. And I know it could have been worse. I could have had a drug addict. I could have had like a sexually abusive mother or something to that effect. And she's put me out as a child prostitute and addicted to drugs and heroin and just the most heinous things that you can think of. It could have been worse. But I think for my mission involved with my goals and the things that I need to do to advance from this life, because we're just infinite spirits in a mortal body. Our mortal body is not empty. Our mortal body is filled with a power and a spirit that is infinite, that never dies. And I'm still figuring all these things out, but I've come to the conclusion that this is real. And we're all here for a reason. And we've chosen to be here. We've chosen to be with certain people. But we have the ability as we go along our path in this life to be able to change things, and what we need to change, and the lessons that we need to learn, and the people that we need to help. And our guides that we have are call them guardian angels, guides, helpers. As we go along in this life, they're there to steer us along, but we still have free will. But it's important for us to trust our inner instincts and who we are inside to be able to manifest and be the people that we were put here to become. So growing up, you know, dealing with my crazy mother and still dealing with her to this day, those were my family teachers. She was my family teacher. And I was embedded with her and with them for a reason. To finally learn years later, decades later, on why I was embedded with people like that, so that I can get to the next level with who I am as an infinite being. And maybe in many ways to impart knowledge to other people that may be going through that or worse. But I do know that my raising of consciousness, my raising of energy is not just to help me, but it's to actually help the evolution of humanity and the world that we live in, which is just a pit stop. But, you know, I'm here for a reason, you're here for a reason. And our goal is to actually find out why we're here, to find out why we're here, figure out the goals, implement the goals, be who we're supposed to be, raise that energy so that we're actually able to go through life to do the certain things that we need to do. Life should not be so hard where you have to kill yourself to make money and to be able to provide for your family, to go to a job that you just despise. And there's certain people that go through this life to do that, and that may be part of their role in this life. And then maybe they'll come back and as that same infinite being to learn another lesson to get to that next level. And everybody needs to find out what it is they need to solve in this life to get to that next level. And I think I figured it out for myself, and I hope that as I figure out things for myself, you'll be able to find out things that you need to solve for yourself. Okay? And when you come to a conclusion for these things that are difficult to explain or communicate to the world, only certain individuals will come and at the right time listen to these things and want to be involved with them. And I hope that you will listen. And I don't know where it's going to go, but I will do it. I will follow my energy. I will follow my power. I will follow what needs to be done for my mission. Raise my energy, and they will come. And you will come. Because that's what it is I need to do. In the various stages of my spiritual journey through church and no church and going back to scripture and thinking, something's not right here. I think that we've been gatekept, and I think that a lot of things have been withheld from me and from you and from the world for certain reasons, because they don't want us to know the power that we have. Because if we truly realize the power that we have within us, we wouldn't need them. So as the evolution of humanity in the world continues to progress, we will need them less and less, and the institutions will crack. And we don't know what that's going to be. But whatever's going to happen, just be calm. Just be still. It's going to happen. You're going to get a flat tire on the road. You're going to get into an argument with certain people. You're going to go through tough times. But learn the lessons that you need to learn from those experiences, and eventually you'll get to where you need to be able to solve the problems that you need to solve and help the people that you need to help. Remember, you're an infinite being in a limited body, and you chose to come here, to be here, and the choices that you make in this life have an effect on what happens to you in this life and where you go from here. All of that stuff is real. Realize the power that you can tap into. Realize the power and the energy that's within you from the creator of the universe, the God force that holds all things together. It's a powerful thing to think about. Yeah. We'll talk more.